Noisy Pixel. Characters in visual novels usually have some typical personality tropes. However, this is often told through a cast of about 6 to 8 characters, not counting the supporting roles. Well, developer Rainworks doesn't seem to want to follow the rules with their newest visual novel, Our Lovely Escape. The story is so outlandish, cruel, and haphazard that I couldn't help but hate the entire cast, and yet I ended up enjoying the game for the very same reasons. Our Lovely Escape begins by the player choosing a name and gender for their character. You have just started working at an Otome visual novel company, and your 2 co-workers and boss make up the 3 other cast members of the game. These characters are tough to explain because the events that follow the opening act make them each out to be everything but ordinary. During the visual novel, you'll experience things like secret webcam fetishes to codependence issues to a girl who doesn't want to leave your house. These themes of bad character traits in women show in each character, which makes you wonder if the writer had some terrible relationships growing up and projected that into these characters. It doesn't stop at the women though. The main protagonist is at the mercy of your choices, which could make them out to be a complete asshole or a caring lover. It's zany and you'll never know where the story is going to go next or how these characters are going to react, which makes the entire game rather interesting over multiple playthroughs. To be honest, I hated these characters. However, I hated them because I could relate to some of their situations and nervously laughed at the events that transpired. That said, as a visual novel, this doesn't work because you see no character growth and you'll mostly just be playing to see how crazy this game can get and where the story will go next. Nothing about the main protagonist is likable, and the only romance route that makes sense is the relationship between the protagonist and his boss Lisa, who was also his childhood friend. Our Lovely Escape has some extremely witty writing about game development that is pretty accurate, as well as some scary relationship interactions that have probably happened at some point or another. The developers seem to have a real grasp on these situations and expertly put them out there for the player to experience. It's even better how these writers create these awkward situations and see them through until the end when any sane person would just run and hide. The artwork in Our Lovely Escape is pretty nice, and there are even some excellent illustrations of food. There aren't too many CGs in the game, but the ones that are present are detailed and well animated. The H scenes in the game aren't anything too special, but they are detailed and animated as well. There are also multiple endings for each character, as well as plenty of interactions for the game where the player can make choices during dialogue. Our Lovely Escape is not a game of character growth or a compelling story, but it will leave you happy that you aren't in a relationship like the one in this story. I wish the developer had a more extensive cast of characters to spread these personalities out evenly instead of having 3 characters with personality disorders. It ends up making the entire game feel like a messy roller coaster, and the invisible protagonist angle never worked here because I personally never felt a connection to the character at all. As much as I hated the main protagonist and the characters, Our Lovely Escape is an excellent example of how an insane premise that pulls off unique ways of storytelling can keep someone's attention. I don't think these characters are supposed to be likable, and I couldn't help but want to tune in to see how each relationship plays out awkwardly. The art is excellent for such an indie title, and I'm excited to see what the developer comes up with next. Noisy Pixel is giving Our Lovely Escape a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Please read the full review at noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.